Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, and today I am going to be going over my March wrap-up. So March was a pretty good month. Towards the end it definitely got a little stressful because I started moving, but I moved into the first house that I actually own, so it's all really exciting. I ended up getting to 5 books this month, which is awesome. I don't think that's too bad. So let's just kind of jump right into it. I do have a review for all of these books except for one. So the first one that I read was The Tiger's Daughter by K. Arsenal Rivera. I really liked this book. This book is about 2 awesome warrior princesses, basically. And it's more of a love story than like an action or adventure story. It's essentially like all about their lives and how much they love each other and like their whole history. It was kind of touch and go for a while, but by the end just something really resonated with me and I just really ended up liking it. I thought it was really cool. If you guys know what Dynasty Warriors is, or know the history of Dynasty Warriors, which is based off of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, I would compare it to something like that. It's sort of like an epic romance tale. So I really like this one. I ended up giving it a 5 stars and I thought it was amazing. So the book I read after that, and the one I actually do not have a video for, is Black Widow Forever Red. This is just the first of a duology. I originally read this in preparation of the Black Widow movie that's supposed to be coming out in April. Unfortunately, I did get pushed back, and just due to me not being a huge fan of the first book, I decided to kind of hold off on reading the second book for a bit. But this book was okay. I only just gave it 3 stars. It wasn't really what I expected out of a Black Widow book, because it wasn't entirely about her. It was about like 2 other people. So I mean, it was okay. I was going to say I have a whole review for it, so I was hoping I wouldn't have to talk about it, but I guess I don't. I mean, technically I do have a Goodreads review, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll link that below if you guys want to know more about it. So the book I read after that is Stormdancer by J. Kristoff. This was a pretty interesting book. It's actually kind of funny because when I think about it, I wouldn't immediately be like, I didn't like it. But when I ended up doing my whole review for it, I only ended up giving it about 3 stars. Just because it wasn't necessarily badly written, but a lot of the choices with what he did with the characters, I did not like. Like, I was just against what he chose to do with the characters. Again, they weren't badly written, but I'm just like, not really my preference. It wasn't my thing. So this book is just about a girl who can talk to animals. She lives in sort of like a steampunk Japan inspired like land, and it's a really disgusting and polluted land. The shogun has this dream or wish to basically ride a griffin. So her and her father and a group of people go try to capture the griffin. Shenanigans ensue, and the plot thickens and stuff like that. So it's a really gruesome book. It's got some fair story elements, and I think if you're a fan of J. Kristoff, you'll probably end up liking this. But yeah, so the book I read after that, and unfortunately it was my lowest rated book of the month, which is like honestly like so unfortunate, because it's Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks, and she's like by far like my favorite booktuber. But I mean, you can still respect someone even if you don't agree with their book choices. I had quite a few problems with this book. Again, I have a whole review on my channel for this. It's really long and in-depth because, again, I care so much about, this author and that she succeeds, that I really wanted to kind of get into, what was wrong with it and even like how it kind of could have been addressed. But essentially, this book is about a land that Brooks made up, so it is a epic fantasy. It's completely made up. It's about the different royal families of the different countries. And Brooks kind of described it as people in power trying to keep their power. I wouldn't really say it. Again, it's hard to explain books like these because it's supposed to be character driven. So the plot is kind of based on different people. But pretty much most of the people I did not care for. The plot I didn't really care for. and all the other little things like the power system, the enemies, and the world is like not fleshed out. I think my main takeaway, my main suggestion is that I really thought this should have been a sequel and not the first book in her series, because a lot of stuff is brought up at the beginning or like introduction to the characters, and we learn about their backstory, but we don't know their backstory and aren't shown it. And I feel like literally their entire backstory actually seems more interesting than this book. And it's like every single person or place has something that happened like within the past 30 years or something like that, because like a war just ended, and I don't know, it just I don't understand why we started here instead of like backing up a bit. But again, I have that whole video over there. I really do hope that she does some great things with her second book. I know she's in the process of writing it, I think doing beta reads, and I would personally love to be a part of that. So, I hope I do get the opportunity to do that and, help her make her second one so much better. So the last book that I read for March is Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. This is a Twisted Tales, which is essentially taking Disney stories and, as the title suggests, changing it just a bit. I read this in honor of the live-action Mulan movie coming out, which unfortunately got pushed back as well. But, it's a fair choice. It makes sense. I still ended up finishing this because, unlike with Black Widow, I didn't know that this movie was going to be pushed back when I started reading it. But honestly, I thought this was great. I gave it a solid 4 stars. It's essentially it's everything I would have wanted out of a book like this, because it still feels like it's part of the Disney world. It makes references to the movie, so like you feel like you just watched the movie because you're like, oh yeah, I remember that part that happened in the movie. And the characters don't stray from what you know of them from the movie either. So it seems like it just feels like you just smoothly transition right into this like retelling. So yeah, if you guys are interested in Mulan, I see no reason why not to pick this up. The tagline is, "What if Mulan had to go to hell?" Essentially, the book picks up right when she shoots the cannon and takes out all the Hun, and instead of her getting slashed by Shan Yu, Li Shang puts himself in front of Mulan and he gets cut and essentially is like dying. So she has to go on this journey to save him. But yeah, so that is it. Those are all the books I read for March. A pretty average month. Like I said, it has some decent highs, but probably more lows or mediums. But hey, you can't win every month. So yeah, let me know what you guys ended up reading for March. If you guys have your videos, go ahead and link those below so I can go check them out. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, a good week, a good month, a good year, and I will see you all next time. Bye now.